Now we're recording.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks at home. We just said the pledge, and we had some technical difficulty with the cameras, and nothing else has been said yet. So, first item up on the agenda is Big Ox Road property cleanup.
We want to ask if anyone has any public opinion.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to talk about, bring up tonight that's not on the agenda? Okay, hello, Chris.
Yes, sir. This is a message from a group led by the governor of the state of Indiana. The request is that in commemoration of Paul Revere riding through on the 18th and 19th in 1775 to deliver the warning, this group is asking that a light be put in the highest point possible in this courthouse on the north-facing side as a memorial to that event, which in their opinion is the beginning of the 2026 routine for the different events that are in place or will be in place to celebrate the 4th of July next year. So the request is for the light.
For next year or for 2025?
2026 is when that's
Okay.
250th anniversary.
Gotcha.
So
Just a light, or is it supposed to, is there some type of lantern, or?
it could be whatever illumination you prefer.
Okay.
On the 18th and 19th of next month, April, if you would do that.
Okay. Greg, could you hear that?
I guess not.
Yeah, about the Paul Revere event.
Yes. I didn't know if you could
Yeah.
pick out all that up. All right, we can't vote on it tonight, but we can put it on the agenda and talk about it
Perfect.
next meeting. Yeah. Does anybody else have anything? Okay. We'll get on with the meeting. Big Ox Road property cleanup. Do you have something on that?
Well, that's just been advertised for the last time, hopefully.
Okay.
This will be the end of our second advertisement on that.
All right. So we're,
I think we've already
I
contracted.
think we already picked a start window. Is my recollection.
all right.
And then Abbott has it, right?
Yes.
So there's no, we don't,
Yeah.
did you have some reason to have it on the agenda, Greg, or?
I think I just did that to make sure.
To make sure that
That it
you
was
guys knew that
advertised.
it was advertised.
All right,
No.
all right. Ryan Gabbard, financial updates.
Let's go with me if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it's more than fine. Somebody's gonna have to keep you straight.
He's got a big job.
Yep.
Have you audited the books too, Mr. Gabbard? No?
All right, the first thing, I've already updated Jennifer's, she knows what went on, and this is for you guys. It's something I just put together, so you guys can have a paper copy. I had one for Greg too. We had a money marketing account in New Washington State Bank. It had a 1.4 interest rate, and took that money and invested it into a CD. There'd been no activity for a pretty long time on it, and we're now getting a 4.43% interest rate on that CD through Stockyards Bank now.
Outstanding.
When does the CD renew?
It's a 13-month term.
That's pretty good.
And all them details are right there on your all's paper.
So, and you deposited $54,538.75.
$54,538.75.
Locked in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Just when you do a CD, it locks it in.
Yes.
If you try and pull it out early, you pay penalties.
Well, this is penalty free.
Okay, good.
So, I probably should have said executive. This is for here's the last thing. Jennifer, I don't know if I sent that to you or not. I cannot remember. There's your copy. I am going to read from this. I may add a couple things, but nevertheless, I'm requesting your approval to implement a $1 charge for printing extra tax statements and receipts in our office. Each year, we spend approximately $7,500 on printing and mailing these statements. We also provide receipts after payments are made. A significant portion of this cost comes from the property owners with multiple properties who request statements at the time of payment rather than bringing them in. Everything we do is accessible online at loud.taxinfo.com. That is posted on the office before people walk in also. And when people call, we're sure to tell them over the phone as well that that's a better option. So we encourage individuals to utilize the online platform to reduce these costs. Given that the recorder's and clerk's office already charge for reprints, and with other office operating on tight funds for supplies, this small fee will help offset the costs and ensure we can continue to provide efficient service. If this proposal is approved, we would like to begin implementing the charge starting July 1st of this year, allowing the time for taxpayers to adjust and giving them an opportunity to inform them in the advance before the next tax season. So what do y'all think?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it makes sense to me why you'd need to do this. Do you have anything?
So you say implement a $1 charge for printing extra tax statements and receipts. So is it a $1 per print, or?
Yes, I mean we can work out however. I know that the recorder's office, I believe, charges $1 for reprints too. When they come in, they pay with their statement, they automatically get we don't charge them for receipts,
Yeah.
but we just have a lot that every so often they come in and just expect us to keep printing out receipts and
Yeah.
tax statements too when they already receive a tax statement. Also,
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it because I thought there was already rules or policies for getting documentation or open records request.
Yeah, I think it's a
Does that
little
implement-
bit different
Yeah.
than an open records request, though. So, I think $1 is the maximum that you would be allowed to charge per page for anything. I would maybe just urge you to consider putting something in place, basically, that would allow individuals to request an accommodation or something if something happens. Okay, I mean, sometimes people for whatever reason, right, it can be on an as justified basis. Okay, I mean, I don't like treating different situations differently, but I mean, $1 per page for some people is not that much. It might be a lot for somebody else. So
Absolutely.
I think just taking into consideration specific circumstances might be something that you want to look at. I know that public record statutes say it's $1 per page, and there's some places that are big sticklers about that, and there's some that are not. So, I mean, especially if they're willing to accept some kind of electronic documentation, right, in lieu of a paper document, that might be something that could reduce the costs.
It's honestly not a problem with those that that own a couple properties. It's when those that have 200 plus, and here we have to redo what we've already sent out. It's a lot of paper after a while.
Sure, and I don't see an issue with $1 per page. I'm just saying.
No, that's fine. That's
As a
fine. I
general
was just throwing out a number. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
what everybody wanted. So
Well, I mean, everybody knows our financial situations are really, really, really tight. So I don't have a problem with it. Greg, did you hear? Could you catch everything?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I agree with some of those things that have been proposed there. I mean, I think Brian's doing a good job being proactive and trying to be efficient, try to save some costs in there. So. But it's kind of a little bit, some way along the lines of, how we went into, from survey department to the recorder's office, implementing our Mylar and trying to save money in certain areas. So I think this is great, and I appreciate, Ryan, your hard work and trying to find ways to cut costs.
And then also with the website where they can go on there and pull everything. And that cut down a lot of work, a lot of middleman stuff and sending paper out. So I'll even do a poster and epigraph on
Do we
that.
have a public access terminal?
Yeah.
We do? Okay,
Yes.
where they can come in and get on. Okay.
Well,
Some
yeah.
people don't have
Yeah.
internet access.
So I'll accept a motion to pass the $1 charge.
I'll make that one.
Yeah, I think really, I mean, you guys can pass it if you want. I mean, I think it's a courtesy that.
Yeah.
It'd be an office, yeah.
I did too, but I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. It's just,
So like you can adopt policies and procedures for your office yourself.
Okay.
I would say that it's good that it's $1 because I think that's consistent with public records. I'm not saying it's not. It's not exactly the same thing, but
Yeah.
so I would just say like come up with a policy, right, and make that public. Probably post that somewhere.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you coming in and letting us know about it. And if you want
it's good to get it on
the
public.
the nod or the
Yeah.
I think you kind of have it. But if you make changes or anything, we'd be happy to share our thoughts. I feel like
Yeah. Appreciate it. And there's 2 ways they can access the information without paying.
Mm-hmm.
The public access and this website. So
And they receive their original copies.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
and that's a
We
non-
have to do that.
Yeah.
That's a not paid situation.
Yeah. So recreating work for you. Yeah.
Yes, and when we already have their, if somebody comes in and says, hey, I didn't receive this, we have addresses to tell, the company keeps everything on file where we can tell if we've mailed that out to their address or not, so.
I like it. Anything else,
All
sir?
right.
That's it.
Thank you, Ryan, for being proactive and doing this, bro.
Appreciate you guys.
Okay.
All right. If it's all right with everybody, since Chris is here, I'd like to jump around and go straight to her. That way she can. Denise isn't here, so.
That's the financial matters, right? I'll go ahead of that and get out of here. All right. You all should have already gotten a copy of this, correct? The request?
And what are you talking about?
Yes.
No, I got it.
Okay. So we came to you guys back in the fall, got funds to start a bereavement support program. So the initial part is just talking about what that looks like. So we have one more person still to train from the Scott County Community Clearinghouse, but we've trained 5 people already in the grief recovery method, and they're offering that grief support, and we found that it was a much bigger need than what we anticipated, which is a good problem to have. So we have a federal grant in right now to be able to continue funding that. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed for us. So that's that piece. We still have funds for the remainder of the year, but that's for this program. So back in November, we've identified a lack of services for youth, or specifically for justice-involved youth. And so we wrote 3 different grants. One is a day reporting grant. So if you all remember back when Family Time was operating day reporting, youth that aren't working or they're not in school for one reason or another, they would go basically during school hours and be engaged in community service, the GED program, different types of programming and curriculums. So that program shut down several years ago, and we haven't had it for years since. So one of our grants is to bring back day reporting. The second one is for behavioral health. So we have a lot of youth that have anger management struggles and need some sort of clinical level service. So that behavioral health grant would be a collaborative effort with all the mental health agencies, community corrections, and then CEAS of Scott County. So that would cover a peer support person to work with youth, to manage those behavioral health symptoms, but then also that care coordination. So the third one is a youth mentoring program. So I don't know if you have noticed, but our truancy numbers are unreal. So that's kind of the big focus with that mentoring program is the truancy in youth that have different issues that are preventing them from going to school. So
Is there a certain age group that it's highest? I'm
so-
saying high school.
Yeah, most of it is high school, but we're not restricting it to high school alone.
Right.
The biggest key thing is that they have to be justice involved. So like elementary students, the prosecutor is not prosecuting a kindergartner for not showing up to school. That's more adult services. Whereas this would be more youth, so that's more middle school, high school age range. So those 3 grants were funded. However, you ask for this amount of money and they give you this amount of money. So with the day reporting program, they cut our funding by 1 staff person. So you're talking 12 juveniles with 1 adult, and that's not going to happen. So that's really for safety purposes and for the youth and for the adult. We need to have 2 staff people. So a big chunk of our request is asking for that staff person for the day reporting. And then we need funding for curriculums. So we have to have curriculums to be able to work with the youth with so that they're evidence-based programs. And so we're asking for funding for curriculums to be able to provide to those youth. So then the bigger thing is I'm 1 person, and unless you want to pull a clinician out of Scott County, I can't do the admin side of things full-time. So we need a full-time admin position that can do all the data, grant reporting, answering phone calls. So if we've got people out with youth and a parent needs to call and get a hold of somebody, there's a consistent, stable person that can answer during our business hours, because I can't, I may or may not be in session because this is a part-time job. So those are the biggest meat and potatoes. There's 2 other smaller pieces. One is through suicide and overdose fatality review, we have found that veterans are at a disproportionate risk for overdose death. And so we've been working with Sew In for Heroes that does education and programming for veterans. And so they cover multiple counties, but our request is specifically for Scott County events and for them to do that outreach with veterans within Scott County. They're working with IDVA for a Governor's Challenge grant. The problem is that's a reimbursement grant. And so this would give them just a little bit of startup capital to start those things within Scott County for veteran outreach. The second one is survivors of childhood sexual trauma are a huge at-risk population for substance use. And we don't have enough people that understand how to identify and how to report childhood sexual abuse. And so the Prevent Child Abuse Indiana offers a training. It's about $15 a person for the workbook, and then we would need to be able to reserve space. And so there's a request for funding to be able to do that and train at least 100 Scott County community members in identifying and reporting childhood sexual abuse.
So how much total are you?
So total is $129,811.92.
Then, Jennifer, how much was in the opioid restricted?
In the restricted?
Yeah, it's restricted.
Restricted is 516. Have a current balance of 591, and there's been 75,000 appropriated out of that so far.
129 what?
129,811.92. There's the number right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can break that down in further detail if you would like. But
I think you broke down pretty good on the document.
yeah, that's where I'm like,
Yeah, you did. I just, for the people at home.
yeah,
And that, and I didn't have the number in front of me at the moment.
yeah. I lost-
Greg's gone.
Greg, you have any comment if you're there?
Are you still with us?
He just went off mute.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, and I have no comments.
Okay.
Me, I
Will
think-
that,
Oh, sorry.
we have 500, what?
560.
Yeah, 516 after the appropriation of 75,000.
516,000.
Does,
And what about the building? Is the building,
Well, there's not been anything appropriated for that.
okay. So how much was, we said we was gonna hold out for the building?
I don't recall hearing
I don't
any
know that
number.
we've ever specified a specific amount.
Okay.
You're giving me a building? Thanks.
Well, you can definitely use the
There would
building,
definitely
yeah.
be places you would be able to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're considering refurbishing, renovating the
Church,
church
Oh, okay.
Nazarene Church.
Yeah.
as a location specifically for things like
For-
this.
Okay.
Okay. How big are her union?
So our grant starts April 1st.
Okay.
So we are planning on launching with youth, like we would have 60 days to onboard and do additional trainings, those kinds of things, before we start with youth. I don't feel really comfortable launching with youth with only one person. But that's the one that like is time critical, I guess, or at least by 60 days from April 1st, so June 1st.
And how much was that part of it?
Can I see the proposal?
Yeah.
Again, it really helps. You are one of the few people, I would say, that is always prepared and comes here with tons of information for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always helps for me if you're going to be making some kind of request like this and it's time sensitive to have a copy of it before the meeting,
Okay.
because I can't track everything
Got
and
it.
get the proper paperwork together to basically try to get something passed if you need it done
Okay.
within a set amount of time.
She did send that to me. I don't want that to,
Yeah.
that was something she
Okay.
did, and I
Yeah.
sent it to you, but it was
Okay.
in the last few days.
And while he's looking over that, I will say, I know y'all do a great job out there, Cease, and that's why I keep attending y'all's meetings, because I know y'all doing good things, and then the leadership up there. And so, depending on what our council says, I would have no problem.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's well within the ranges for OUD treatment.
Yeah,
related.
and I've marked in the document all of the, exactly where in the abatement strategies, those different areas fall.
Perfect. Like I said, you're always prepared. That is not a criticism.
Yeah. A lot of work goes into all of the thoughts and everything like that.
And this is for staffing, basically.
So 516 after the
So
75,000?
the big chunk of it is for staffing. There's a little bit that is for curriculum purchase. But staff, like 2 staff positions is the biggest chunk.
I mean, again, I think it complies with the restricted category requirements. I don't see any issues with that. I just need a second here to try to draft the resolution.
Would all that be able to fly under restricted?
Yes.
Okay. So that would leave us a balance of $386,189.
Greg, you got anything?
No, I support, Carissa and what they're trying to do. I mean, they do a good job, and I agree with Zach. I mean, since I've been commissioner, she always comes in prepared, and, that's a real blessing for everyone. So, I'll support the amount that, she's asking for.
What do you got there, Bomar?
No, I'm just saying, I agree. Like, Zach, Greg, myself all go, I know they're doing a great job. And, stop by every once in a while, check in, just say hi, and they're always working, doing stuff, and it's evident. So, I support it.
Thank you.
Well, then, I'll accept the motion.
I'll make that motion to give Carissa what she's asking for in the 129,811,
92.
92. Yeah.
$129,811.92.
Yeah, I guess I could have made it a nice round number.
And can I get that we're doing it that way, and that's fine. Can we also just go ahead and do some form of a resolution tonight that specifies the amounts? We'll make this part of,
You want us to break it all down in resolution for each one?
no, you don't have to do a breakdown. I'm doing it right now. I'm just
Okay.
gonna ask you guys to sign it.
At the end of the
Greg
meeting.
can sign it when he comes back.
Okay.
And we'll just,
Okay. And I've got it all broken down
you do.
in there
I
about
know.
what.
Yeah.
So, Greg, you made a motion or
So,
I'll second.
you second that or? All right, I'll make it unanimous.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Mike, we look
Thank you
forward
for
to-
what you do, Chris. Awesome.
Thanks. I'm just gonna duplicate myself and we'll have a couple of extra clinicians. It'll make life easier.
does she need to hang around, or
You don't need to.
Okay.
I'm just gonna submit it as a resolution now that you've explained it all.
And
Okay.
we'll,
And then council, I know, meets next week, but I'm going anyway, so.
Okay, it'll be April the 8th that they meet again.
Okay, okay.
So will that be better?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
yeah. I just wanted to make sure, I don't think we could do it next week anyway, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Don't they meet the 4th?
I might still be able to advertise this yet tonight and get it the 10 days before the 8th, so we might be good on that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see what I can do about it.
okay. Thank you all.
yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tripping over everything.
all right. Denise Vaughn, Veteran Salute.
I apologize for my tardiness. There's no
That's all right.
excuse, but we have one less homeless veteran.
Very nice. That's awesome.
So I am requesting the permit to have the event that you guys asked me to hold on the courthouse lawn.
Okay.
The insurance, I have filled it out. The insurance is the question. Because it is a sanctioned event underneath the county's office, the question was about insurances. Does the county cover it? Am I gonna have to try to find insurance in a week and a half?
That
It's
is a-
ours. I mean, it's our responsibility.
Okay.
It's our department holding the event.
Yeah.
So I'm requesting that I be granted said permit.
All right. Well, I'll accept the motion to accept the to grant the permit for Denise.
I'll make that motion to accept the permit.
Could you hear what was going on?
It's the
Yeah, I'll second, the need for Denise's permit.
All right. And got two motions and I'll make that unanimous.
Speaking
We
of
need to sign the back of that.
said event, I will pass these off to you. These are the flyers that you'll see all over the county. And since this is a public forum, I want to publicly express my appreciation to all the businesses here in Scott County. Pretty much every single business that I've approached has been more than willing to donate goods or services. Lexington Tire and Gas, Warrior's Den, Gracie's Goodies, who is veteran-owned and operated, Mike's Pond, Flip Daddies, Hello Beautiful, Maria West specifically donated, Puerto Vallarta, The Square Bistro, Leroy's, TNC Auto, also veteran-owned and operated, Polar Bear Detailing, veteran-owned and operated, Scott County Tire, Papa John's, Wildflower Boutique, veteran-owned and operated, Scottsburg Pet Center, Advanced Auto, Walmart, Cracker Barrel, Brobies, CNT Cycle, Bull's Cork Bottle, American Rental, and Going Postal, which is also veteran-owned. So, and there's still letters out, and I will continue to collect. We have everything from oil changes to Polaroid cameras to digital picture frames. So Going Postal has been absolutely phenomenal as far as the t-shirt design. And I just got a call from Scottsburg Proud today, who's a nonprofit out of the mayor's office, and they are looking to donate into the fund on top of what the Visitors Commission did.
Outstanding.
What we will have there at the event, 10 to 4, 1 o'clock will be the tribute to the Vietnam veterans. We have books and lapel pens specifically for them. Home helpers will be there, VA volunteer services, VA outreach, enrollment and eligibility. We'll have one of their social workers out there. Barbecue Paradise, which is a veteran-owned business, is going to take care of the food. We've set that all up. Chastity Morse, who's also a veteran, is going to provide all the music for us. Global Life Insurance is going to be out there as well. I've talked to them. Jess is going to be out there. And then the Young Marines are going to provide a color guard for us for that 1 o'clock. Major General retired now, Lyles, will be speaking. And then Tom Miller, who's also will be speaking as a Vietnam veteran. So should be
Sounds like a good deal.
there's bounce houses, bubbles, face painting. I'm going to have to do giveaways all the time. So it should be a really great event. I hope to see all their veterans and their family members out.
YMCA called me yesterday, 2 days ago.
Perfect.
I go out there Friday and pick up what they're going to donate.
Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate it because, were you able to get a hold of the electric company when we talked about that, Greg? I know we talked a little bit about some of the other things that we could do and get out there. I don't know if you can hear me.
Sorry, no, I haven't had a chance yet, Denise, but I'll do that.
Okay. It's just been an outpour of love. And, our veterans are super, super loyal. And they bring in over $1.76 million into this county every single month. So go support these businesses. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
They have been generous and donated. And then the other piece to that is me leaving. And the sooner we can do right seat, left seat ride and get somebody in there, the better off we are. I have approached a few people, but they're not interested
Okay.
because of pay. That's the absolute reason why I can't get anybody in there. So the sooner that we can try to find somebody, and the pool is narrowed because it has to be a veteran. They have to have a DD-214 because they have to be accredited with organizations that you can only get accredited with the DD-214. So that takes out a whole huge bundle. And they really should be computer literate because
There's a lot of it.
there is a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys. It breaks my heart, but right now my daughter needs me, and I drive 30 minutes to come to work. I want to save a bundle on gas. So, but I
understand.
appreciate
We
the
appreciate
opportunity to
everything you've
serve you
done.
guys and serve the veterans of the county. So
Well,
I'll
you've
still
done
be
a good
around.
job.
Thank you very much. And we'll have a big to-do next Saturday, the 29th.
I'll be there.
So come on out and enjoy.
I did have a call earlier from a veteran. I believe you actually talked to him today, Mr. Campbell.
Yes, I
He
did.
asked me a question that I don't know. The population of Scott County, how many total are veterans?
So right now, the last tracking is 1,500.
Okay.
That's the last tracking. And yes, we took care of him. We got him taken
Yeah,
care of.
good.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
he was very appreciative and spoke very highly of you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we've got him taken. Today was an interesting walk-in day since it was me. So, but come on in and get services. We're going to have, this whole event is going to be such a great networking opportunity for all of our veterans too. I didn't realize. So I'm looking forward to it.
And May 22nd is your last day?
Yes, May 22nd is my last day of employment with Scott County.
When could we advertise that? And could we even do a left seat, right seat transition?
Okay, let's explain what left seat, right seat is probably. So, military terms.
Yeah, sorry.
Talking about in a vehicle. So you sit in the left seat and when you're coming into a position and you watch what the driver's doing. And then right seat is when they do it and the driver watches you.
Or
So it's
a
just-
handoff.
Yeah,
Depends on appropriation for time and
I mean,
funding. I mean, I don't have a problem. Obviously, I think that's
Council.
something that's used in lots of departments. But,
Right.
I know that your department is only
two
one.
of us. There's me full-time and then
Full-time
Tom
and-
Miller, who, thank God, above, who is very amazing, and he has decided to stay on board.
Okay.
He does not want full-time, he does not want department head, he wants to continue doing what he's doing, so.
Just, I mean,
Throw it out to the council, see if they'd be willing to accommodate that.
that's
And then, so
Yeah, and
Would you want to talk to JR or?
Uh, Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to, put it on their agenda and
I
bring
can
it up
do
to
that.
the council.
Do you, you could go ahead, I think, and start a job opening,
Yeah,
because I
you
mean,
can go ahead and advertise.
the only
Yeah, that's my
additional
next question.
appropriation is what you're gonna need is whoever's training with her that
Yeah, but-
time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need an
That
additional.
will just be the decision about when the start date is and whether that includes a training.
all I can do is warm handover
Yeah.
with all my contacts and
And
stuff like
I know
that.
there's a lot of computer systems, a lot of VA interactions and stuff that you
Yes.
have to do, because I've been through the process.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, there's not enough time in the day for that training.
No, there's not.
So, but we'll see if the council.
Yeah, there's tremendous value in somebody shadowing her before, her time's up, so we certainly need to take advantage of that.
Yes.
I'm trying to kind of almost write an SOP, kind of a continuity book, so that I can hand
believe it,
off
yeah.
a lot of very valuable information in my trials and tribulations over the last 5 years,
That's-
so they don't
appreciate
have to
putting
do
that
that. Any other questions of me?
No, ma'am. Thank you for all.
Fabulous,
Thank you
thank
for
you for
everything.
signing the permit, and
If not, we'll see you next Saturday.
there you go. We'll see you next Saturday.
All
Thank you,
right.
gentlemen.
Good job, Denise,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Karen.
good job.
Jennifer, I sent you resent the ordinance I sent earlier in the day, and then I
Andrew
sent you
Campbell.
3 resolutions.
Okay,
One of them is the opioid abatement.
okay. We don't need this one that we sent earlier, right?
If you already have that one, you just don't have to print that one off again.
Oh, okay.
How is everyone?
Good, sir. How are you?
Greg, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. So it's just a quote. There's really not a lot of detail on here, so I'll just tell you what's going on. Greg actually, it's been a while back, but he actually reached out to about getting a uniform system within the county to do claims and have everyone see their budget in real time. So this is what it is. And I know we talked about it a little bit, and it's been thrown around council, you guys a little bit, auditor's office, and reached out to Loud. So the software is programs for any, so it's countywide, $4,000 a year. Any employee, any department will use this to submit claims, and also within the claims, a invoice attachment. Claim will not go through without an attachment. An invoice has to be attached with it. Employees will see their budget in real time. They will see if it's in the red, and if they try to buy a $12 wrench with $5 in that account, they're going to get a warning that you are overfunding. Or underfunding. Yes, sorry. You are underfunding that account, and they do have to acknowledge that.
Okay, seen it.
So,
They have to click.
acknowledge. Yes.
So my understanding was this presented last night to the county council, or did they like talk about it?
They talked
We
about
were
it.
in the room.
Okay.
And they're pretty much all,
That's my understanding, is everybody was very much in favor
On
of
board,
that.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. yep. So, and when all the claims get to Mandy, she has the ability to also reject it if it's underfunded, or send it right back and say, hey, you're in the wrong line item, the wrong fund. They can fix it and resubmit it. Then plus also we have a working database now of all of our claims and receipts, and we don't have to worry about paper shuffled around. We have toner, paper, foot traffic. So
So we could cancel Ryan's policy, what he was wanting to do.
yeah. No.
I'm joking.
I think it's a really good, for my 2 cents, I mean, I did speak with the county council's attorney today. I think that they are generally in favor of it.
I am.
And I think it would be a tremendous benefit for all of the departments, as well as auditor's office, you guys.
Yeah.
And the county council, just like on a yearly basis or monthly or however you want, to be able to understand like
Absolutely.
more intrinsically like what is going on in each specific department.
Yeah, I would love to review claims on that.
And you can just go in there and say, hey,
Yeah.
I need these claims for this month.
Yeah.
There they are electronically.
Yeah, I would love
So,
to streamline it
Yeah.
for everyone. Everyone knows what's going on in their budget and can track it easy.
I think it's
And
a
just-
necessity.
Yeah,
just a
100%.
uniform system throughout the county.
Yeah,
It'd be so much better.
yeah.
So I know it would put probably a little little extra work on the employee that's going to have to be scanning that invoice, making that claim, scanning that invoice, but
they
it's just
don't have
another
to
little task.
walk it over. And I mean, they're usually going to
Correct.
do certain things anyways just to get the claim over here, whether that be scanning it and sending it via email or,
Yep.
I mean, I don't think it's much more work, but it definitely has a lot more
Perks.
Accountability, traction,
Yeah.
and prevents things from getting lost potentially.
And I think it'll just be really good. I think it'd be really good for Mandy too. I know Mandy works her butt off. She takes a lot of questions. She has to deal with me a lot claim wise and financially wise. So, and a lot of other people. She does a great job, and I think this will really benefit her also too. So.
Well, do we know where we pay it out of?
So right now, when I talked to JR, and so they're for it, but they haven't approved it. So what I'm thinking is if we sign the quote, we can hold off and I will submit it subject to them funding it.
I think that's the appropriate way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
that's,
fine.
that's the council's job to find money to.
Yeah.
So,
And everything is honestly subject to sufficient appropriation. So I
Yeah.
think that's appropriate at this point.
Yeah, we'll sign it and I'll hold on till next council meeting. When they say yeah, I'll turn it in.
all right, I'll accept a motion to pass.
Greg, you want to make it?
Yeah, I'll make the motion, and thanks, Andrew, for pushing this forward. This is just the way we have to do business. It's the way we do business today. You have to have these attachments. You have to be able to see the invoices. And I think uploading those, it's going to be a very, easy process. And, from that standpoint, we can go back and then look at this anytime, and know exactly what that invoice was, what for, and what the date was. And so, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No problem at all.
I'll second, but I also have a question.
Yep.
Is this going to be on-prem or cloud-based?
It's on prem.
Okay, and we'll have backups and everything.
Absolutely.
I
Back
knew
up
you
to the
would.
T. Yeah.
I do, but I just
yeah,
wanted
my
to
backups have backups.
Outstanding.
Those
brother. I
backups
appreciate
have it
And
also.
then, yeah, I second that
Yeah.
motion.
And I'll make it unanimous.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
You want to
Appreciate
sign
you.
that for me, and I will hold on to it till the next council meeting. You guys got anything else for me that you think of, or?
The smart board looks nice. Thank you for getting it set up.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I'm gonna.
Andrew,
bring up
you guys are in the freezer, so, from the cell phone, so.
Do what?
You guys are in the freezer. I can't see anybody.
Gotcha, but you can hear us, right?
I seen everybody about 10 minutes before the meeting started, I think is what I'm saying.
Oh, interesting.
That is weird. And we do have yeah, we're not frozen up down the bottom right.
No, we're not.
I don't know. I will look into that though. Are you still on cellular connectivity or new Wi-Fi yet?
Yeah, I'm still cellular.
It could be just something's locked up in there.
Especially being in the office with the walls or.
Good deal.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Courthouse window. Quote.
There's paper ones in front of you, and could be in this packet right here under the sheriff. And I hate to say I had only received the one quote when I made the agenda, but we got the second one yesterday.
Okay, Greg, I'm looking
I
at.
did email them too.
Huh?
I did email them late in the day.
Okay, I don't know if you got this email, but I'm looking at a quote for an estimate for putting wood trim around the windows that we replaced in the Judge Marsh's Hauser's office. The quote is for $1,250.
We got two.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
I've seen- I think we
I'm
had
sorry.
two.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Adam. There's actually two quotes here, and we've got another one for $2,300.
You You can read off who submitted the quote.
Petty Remodeling and Construction LLC has the one for $2,300. And Stasky Excavating and Handyman LLC was $1,250. One says, the $2,300 one says finish windows out and paint, or finish windows out and stain. And the other says cost to purchase material and finish trim out of windows in Judge Hauser's office. So
I put her proposal in there.
the one for $1,250 doesn't say specifically that that's going to be stained when it's done for that amount.
Was that something that was put in the request for stain and paint and all that?
Well, to be done, finished out, to be able to walk away from it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, just looking at the quotes or the estimates at face value, to be a good steward of taxpayer money, I would say the $1,250.
I'm going to agree with that because worst case scenario, we would have to have Eric go up there and stain, which wouldn't cost much.
Yeah, I agree with you guys, low bid,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, all right.
I'll make a
And
motion.
Eric has that in his budget, Randy, so.
Yes.
Oh, good, good. That's gonna be my next question.
I'll accept a motion for Stasky Excavating and Handyman LLC in the amount of $1,250 for finishing out the window trim in the judge's office.
Greg, you wanna make it?
I'm sorry, you asked, I
No.
missed that. I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right,
I'll second.
all right, and I'll make that unanimous.
Okay.
All right, venture fund for transfer station
That,
scales.
they asked us to put that on there, before it was voted, just to make sure that and the mower. And then last night they went and approved it, so just scratch that. Just scratch that.
Okay,
So,
so this fund's been approved now by the council.
And they
And
went ahead and approved the mower too.
what we approve out of that, was it 30?
It was the 20.
20. Okay,
and how much was the mower again?
$4,050.
Okay.
so, and we have,
You've only got about 22 in there right now.
2,200.
In 2 more months, you'll have another 3,000, which should cover everything that's.
okay, so we're on hold for
You'll
the
be on hold a little bit on part of the
rest of the
20.
mower.
No, the mower will be taken care of, but you'll be on hold for the 20 on the transfer station.
Until it comes in a venture truck.
Oh, I've got you. 20, the 20 isn't actually in there yet, is what you're
It's
saying.
not. There's not enough to cover both bills right now. You will get another.
You pulled
one.
money out for the mower already?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, so
Easy one.
this next one, I'm sorry, so that's done. Revision of credit card policy. And what this is the sheriff,
No.
It's not the sheriff specifically, so, everybody should have gotten a copy of a proposed ordinance, which is a revision of a ordinance from,
I think 2006.
yeah. There's just been, some, I think, practical
Growth.
changes and growth to the county since 2006, and the method and practices around the credit card use have kind of deviated from the original understanding, and I think it's been suggested that we go ahead and revise it so that current practices, which are up to date with SBOA guidelines, are consistent with our ordinance. So I did make some changes to it. I think everybody got a copy of that today. I think Jennifer has one with her. As for the sheriff's specific request, again, the ordinance has always seemingly operated like a generic countywide policy for credit cards. But then specific credit cards have been issued essentially or authorized for department holders. So I think like the Visitors Commission has a credit card, right? I have drafted a separate resolution that basically approves, right, that individual card for the Visitors Commission for the uses described in the ordinance or all other approved uses that they would come and ask basically for permission to use it for. So the Visitors Commission is just one of the departments. I'm just using you as an example.
Sure.
There's the prosecutor's office, highway department, EMS has 2, the auditor's office has 1. The sheriff has a debit card. That's a different issue. There's a separate resolution related to the sheriff's debit card. You all have received a notification from him indicating that the debit card is not consistent with current SBOA guidelines and policies. Therefore, he's asking for the permission to obtain a credit card for the commissary account. I've been specific in the resolution about which account it applies to, and he is agreeing in the communication, I guess, which I already planned and put something in the resolution for him to cease using the card and surrender that card. He's saying he will destroy it. So either one of those in my mind would be fine, as long as we have proof that, you know, the account's closed essentially on that debit card. But then you would be authorizing, right, the issuance of a separate credit card for that account, which would be up to current SBOA guidance. And the way I've written his is so that his uses, I guess, are a little bit more, I wouldn't say, they're just distinct from the rest of the departments because it's a commissary account. We're allowing him to use that for all statutory purposes permitted by the commissary statute, any other state laws regarding purchasing requirements, and any not inconsistent policies or regulations in the generic countywide ordinance, right? The countywide ordinance, I think, is a little more restrictive to a certain degree. He has a little bit more authority to use that account for other types of purchases. We just want to make sure that whatever they are, they're either statutory or agreed upon by the sheriff and the county council, because that's what the statute says.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You know, we had to rescind the debit card because State Board of Accounts said we're not the fiscal body, so the fiscal body is the only ones who can approve that before. So how's this really going to
I
fall
don't know that that's
differently?
what the SBOA said. I think that they said that we needed a county-wide credit card policy that was consistently enforced. I think separately they've said to the sheriff, the county has a credit card policy. You have a debit card. Why do you have a debit card?
Okay.
At least that's my understanding.
I kind of agreed with Randy that I
Yeah,
thought they
she told
said it was because the commissioners had approved it and that should have been a council decision.
Yeah. She told me specifically
last
It's a
time-
that.
commissary account. Again, we have a credit card policy that's been adopted by the Board of Commissioners. If the council wants to participate in approving or not approving a use on that commissary account, I think that's to them, but I also believe there's been some communication that's gone back and forth between,
I believe Heather said last night that the credit cards were a commissioner decision.
that's my understanding, is they've kind
Okay.
of said,
I
we adopt the
just-
credit card policy. If council wants to go in and say specifically, you know, you can use it for this purpose on the commissary account, I think I would definitely agree with that that's really a council decision, it's not our decision. But again, these are just don't have to take action tonight, don't have to do anything. You've just received a request from the sheriff today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
5:30.
You know,
But it wasn't advertised on our agenda either.
No, it's not.
What I say is I do agree with the.
I mean, unless we want to amend the agenda.
it's on the agenda.
Kind of as the credit.
Well,
card
that's what
policy,
I'm-
Would it not be?
Yeah.
It says revision of credit card policy.
Yep. So, and we have two separate issues. Again,
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah.
make it clear. Like we
So,
got
yeah.
a generic credit card ordinance or policy, administrative ordinance, resolutions associated with that for departments like the Visitors Commission, who have a credit card and are using it appropriately. Just we need to reissue additional guidance. You know, some of the things that have changed, basically, one, make it clear that you guys are allowed to, an auditor and the council are allowed to request like access essentially, or copies of any balance sheet statements, you know, those types of things. You have this whole separate issue of debit card, credit card at the sheriff's office. That's,
Yeah.
we're talking about two things at the same time, but they're really two different things.
Yeah. So from my standpoint, on the first issue of the general county credit card policy, it definitely needs to be updated, and whoever holds cards, like EMS, whatever, have their, like you said, resolution and agreement with the commissioners, council, whoever. No brainer there. On the second topic of the sheriff asking for a credit card, with the ongoing litigation, and I expressed this to you earlier, so I'm going to say it for everyone, is I personally do not feel comfortable granting him a credit card right now with the litigation ongoing. And that while we could do an additional resolution to cover those topics at a later point, like I almost feel like it should be in the litigation or settlement agreement, something along those lines to cover everything. Because I don't want to be cynical in the sense of saying I feel like this is a one-off trying to trick us, which I don't want to say that, but I just want to cover all bases.
That's a perfectly respectable, reasonable take.
Yeah.
I don't have any issue. Again, like I said earlier, I don't believe that you have to take any action on any of these things tonight. And you can table it, and you have my drafts. You can look at them, take the time individually to assess what you think is right, wrong, what you want to add, change, any of those things. I mean, based on the sheriff's letter, it's essentially basically saying that we've been out of compliance at that office since 2019. So that's just, again, and I think he makes it clear that they received some form of guidance prior to that is different and distinct from what SBOA is saying now. That happens.
Yeah.
The SBOA changes its mind. Again, Visitors Commission, great example. At some point, they were considered an entirely independent, standalone organization, and then the SBOA came in and said, well, no, that's a county department.
Yeah. And that was fun bringing y'all in.
Just so that you know, the limit on the credit card is $500. Okay?
Well, for your department, it would be.
And also, while it was, I think it's excellent that so many businesses have contributed towards the veterans event. I'd like you to know also that the Visitors Commission did contribute $4,000 to that.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
That's awesome. So what I'm going to say is, look, I'm all right with the sheriff having a credit card, but I want to hold off as well, because when I'm reading this, I would assume, and that's the problem, I'm having to assume, that the credit card would be attached to his commissary fund, but I'm not, there's nothing indicating what fund or line that this credit card would be coming out of.
Perfectly respectable, reasonable reason to refrain at this time. I'm not telling you again that you have to take any action tonight. I just want everybody
Right.
to have the materials.
And I'll be honest with you, I mean, he's got to be able to, I get it, you know. He needs to be able to purchase stuff through Amazon and stuff, and it's going to be the cheapest route for him to go. I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah, same thing.
want to practice a little caution.
Yeah, and I'm
For
not
now.
against it either. I'm just, with everything going on right now and the additional questions and then outlining what ifs, I think we table it and talk with the council attorney a little bit more and see if we get a game plan together that everyone's in agreement with for oversight and accountability.
Greg, you got any comments?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Randy. I mean, sheriff has to have a credit card, so, but I'm okay to table this. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I would just feel more comfortable if I knew where the money was going to come from to pay for the credit card.
So if you just vote to table it,
Yeah.
and we'll do like roll call voting like we've been doing.
All right, so I'll take a motion, accept a motion to table this for now.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second.
All right, and I'll make that unanimous.
And then Jennifer has the copy for the resolution for the opioid abatement funds, with a copy of the proposed plan included as an exhibit. The amounts are specified, the total amount is specified in there. And again, it's my opinion that the proposed plan is consistent with the Attorney General's opioid remediation uses, and that the entity is one that has already been engaged for similar types of services for the county. Really, at this point, you guys have voted to approve the use. It's just, again, accounting and making sure that we've got some documents to show why we did what we did, and at what amount. So again, I don't believe you need to read off the resolution in its entirety, but it does have places for signatures, and I would just request that you vote to authorize the resolution, and again, just by roll call voting.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution for cease in the amount of $129,811. Was it 91?
$129,811.92.
Yes. So, make a motion to accept that.
I'll second that.
I'll make it unanimous. And then, so now I'll take a roll call vote and to accept resolution number 2025-R-3.
Aye.
Is that resolution 3?
I think so, because we didn't go ahead and use the other one. Wasn't it?
I know we had ordinance 3. I don't think it was resolution 3.
Oh, you didn't think so? I thought it was. I messed up the numbers.
It's not that big a deal. I just want to make sure that I think we've done a couple more resolutions this year than 3, but I may be wrong.
That's 3.
It is 3. Okay.
Is it?
Sorry.
All right.
My
You're
bad.
fine.
So,
We said it
Who's calling the roll?
let's say you,
Greg, You're aye, right?
Aye,
Aye.
yep, aye.
Aye. So now that I messed the paperwork all up. Greg, can you stop in sometime and sign this?
Yes,
All right. Before we get into consideration of regular special invoices.
There are none.
Huh?
There are none.
Okay.
Oh, and there's one more thing. We do have a family medical leave
Okay.
that we need approved, and this person does qualify.
All right. I sent you an email, but I'd like to amend the agenda. This is basically, we've already approved the spending the money out there at the transfer station of what we're doing. It's just, initially, we only agreed we was gonna buy one scoreboard. We don't need any additional appropriations. I just want to see if you guys are in agreement if we add another scoreboard so that people, when they pull up on the scale, they can see what they weigh in, and when they're leaving the scale, they can see what they're weighing out. Initially, we was just doing one scoreboard. The cost is $2,641 for that additional scoreboard. And again, this is not additional appropriation. I'm just wanting to see if you guys agree that we should probably have two scoreboards.
Is there, just playing devil's advocate, is there a placement of the scoreboard where it could be in the center where they could, just look to the left or look forward when they're pulling it out?
Well, the scales are 70 feet.
Okay.
So if you've got a trailer, you're going to be way past
Yeah.
the center point.
I was just trying to.
Right. No, it's a valid question.
Yeah.
I thought of it too at one time. So,
Need a vote to amend the agenda and then,
I'll make the motion to agenda or amend. the
oh, you're
agenda.
right. We didn't do that, did we? All right.
by roll call.
Do you agree to amend the agenda to
I'll
talk
second.
about the, yeah, okay. All right, now I'll make that
I'll
unanimous.
second.
So what do you think? You think we should have two scoreboards or just do with one?
If you know where we're getting the money and we have the money, that's fine. If we don't, I'm not for spending any more money.
Yeah, no, this is not any additional appropriations whatsoever.
Yeah, if it's not an additional appropriation.
It's just, we didn't talk about two
where's
scoreboards,
it coming
and I
from?
don't want to surprise you guys and do another scoreboard without talking.
Where is it coming from? That's what.
Oh, it's coming from the same people we're buying the scale from.
Where is the
think
money's
the
coming
money.
from?
Oh, where's the money coming from? In what we've already allocated in the, between the venture trucking, the timber fund, and
Restricted.
opioid unrestricted. It's all wrapped up into that $95,000 that we've already approved.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as it's in there, that's fine.
Yeah, that's,
So you-
I'm in agreement with Greg.
Okay, all right. Then I'll answer this guy and let him know
You need to vote. Roll call vote.
that we will do that. So if you'll all approve, please say aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. So I'll get this ordered. All right, so consideration of payroll, yeah. We better consider that.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to look at payroll and you're fine with payroll, Greg?
Yes, I would approve, I would
Okay.
make a motion to approve the payroll.
I second.
All right, I'll make that unanimous.
You said there was no invoices, right, Jennifer?
No.
Consideration of minutes.
You You got the FMLA, do you want to do that?
Yeah, look, we can,
Amend the agenda.
uh,
Yeah, I would do that.
I make a motion to amend the agenda for FMLA request.
I'll make that motion.
You'll second that.
I'll second
I'll
that.
second.
I'm sorry, yeah, I'll second that. I'll make it unanimous. Is there any violations that, I probably shouldn't read the person's
No,
name
no,
out loud,
No,
right?
not at all.
So,
But you,
Uh,
they have been employed long
yeah.
enough, or they've
The
met the
auditors
requirements.
confirmed that they qualify.
we have,
Made the request for a valid purpose. You can vote to approve or not.
yeah. Could you hear Zach? The person's,
Yeah,
it's valid. They have a right to, so.
My suggestion would be is
Okay.
that you approve it.
So can I get a motion?
I'll make
Yeah,
a motion to approve FMLA.
I'm good with that.
All right. So we'll have two motions and I'll make that unanimous.
Has SNL been paid fully?
I don't think the bills have been paid yet. They will be by the end of the week.
Okay.
They're still working. There was a lot for Mandy to have to figure out where to appropriate in the
Okay.
lines. So
All right, good.
While we're doing that, I have basically, as everybody knows, I think the county was one of the originating counties that filed as part of what became the multi-district litigation regarding opioid settlement. There is still ongoing and existing like claims that are being litigated, let's say. New parties have been added. And I think actually the county has received a couple what have been characterized as public records requests for certain things. You don't have to respond. I've been in communication with our council about those and concerns about certain privileges that apply for some of the information that's been requested. But basically had a conversation with him, and the county has the option to amend the complaint and I think dismiss some of the defendants that were added, essentially. It won't actually affect, again, the state of Indiana is litigating these things as well, and we're a participating subdivision in the state's litigation. Essentially, the recommendation from our attorney is to go ahead and, because of the size of the county, we're less than 50,000, let's go ahead and authorize him to dismiss the claims against the defendants who were added, and allow essentially the state to pursue any and all claims on our behalf. It would not preclude us from the right to distributions under the formulas adopted by the state of Indiana for any settlement funds that may be later claimed from any particular defendants. Again, this is just his recommendation, and basically I explained to him that I would present that to the board, ensure that you guys know about it, and explain his thought process and see what you guys wanted to do.
You have that in writing, that it won't affect us, like from the state distribution?
I don't have that in writing, that it will not affect us. What I have is an explanation, and I think my general understanding that any and all distributions that have been made a part of the multi-district litigation by statute, the distribution has been negotiated between the Attorney General's office and our attorneys. That was done 2 years ago, I think. I want to say we've had at least a a year and a half, maybe more than that, of distributions. And again, there's been other, like we've gotten different, I think the original defendants was one group, right? And then we got a separate one that was like with
Kind of smaller.
Treva, Walgreens, and some other, let's say not manufacturers, but distributors. Again, this is just another set of defendants, is my understanding. And our attorney is basically saying it because of the size of the county, the question is, do you all want to go to trial on this issue, or do you want to let somebody else essentially litigate it?
Greg, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'll defer to Zach, this has been something that's been going on ever since I've come in and way before me, so.
Again, I don't think that, Frank Dudeneffer, was our attorney, passed away. His associate, D.B. Honeycutt, actually has taken over. They've never led us astray in any of these processes. The county retained them years before me to prosecute these claims, and it's been, I think, a successful venture and a benefit to the county to deal with some of the issues with opioid addiction in the county. I trust him, and I think that he's given this a lot of thought, and after understanding all the different types of claims and parties and cost associated and time investment, again, I think he's not saying, right, that those other claims litigated by those other people ultimately bear some kind of distribution, but if it does, right, and the state of Indiana recovers an amount, that we're covered under our statutory rights in the opioid.
I'm good with it, guys.
Sorry.
Yeah. Now, based on your recommendation, your guidance, I'll make a motion to approve them to remove the defendants and move forward with it.
And again, I didn't mean to bring
I'll
this.
second.
This was just given to me.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now I'll make that unanimous. All right, thank you, Zach. So, the minutes, has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes or accept the minutes.
I got a motion to accept,
I'll second.
and I'll make that unanimous. And council, do you have anything else?
Nothing for me at this time.
Okay. Greg, do you have anything else that you want to add tonight?
I don't. Thank you.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
No.
All right, then I'll accept a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, I'll make that unanimous.
Thank you all.
Thank you.